Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. So the Texas Longhorns have rebounded very quickly in the 2021 class recruiting. We lose Jalen Milroe as he flips to Alabama following the 2022 commitment of Quinn Ewers. And then this week, Texas flips Charles Wright, Austin High's own local guy. Parents are former UT students. Flip him from Iowa State, now part of the 2021 Texas Longhorn class. And I have to say, this is an outstanding strategic move by Tom Herman and Mike Yurcich for acting as quickly as they did to fill that spot. They did need a guy to represent this class, and with Quinn Ewers being such a big dog, a big piece, a big domino who will impact all of college football recruiting in a lot of different ways. We're already seeing it with Jalen Milroe deciding to go elsewhere, who was a top 150 player in his own right. When you see those type of breakdowns, now, hey, with the hole we have to fill in our class, we probably are going to need to go after somebody who's more of a long-term prospect, somebody who we can develop in the program, either as a high-level backup or future starter way down the road, physical development, mental, those things of that sort. Texas did that beautifully here. And one of the things I commented on the Jalen Milroe video was, hey, they need to be strategic in who they go after. Seeking out some of those high-level, developmental guys that may be a 3-star, is not super sexy, but is either a great system fit or, like I said, somebody that has a rapport with the coaches that can be developed. I had asked for names. Hey, who are some of the people out there? I want to give a really quick shout out to my friend Brandon over at the Along the Wire podcast. He works in the San Antonio area, is a great contributor, and sent me a name of a young man in his huddle tape, Cannon Williams out of Harlan, who's a 5A quarterback down in the San Antonio area, who I studied his huddle tape and was like, wow, this guy has a lot of similarities to some of the things we saw with Hudson Card at Lake Travis. Definitely raw, but has that, pop with the arm and can move around and has great mobility in his own right. Now, I had mentioned there was a quarterback here in Austin. I couldn't remember his name off the top of my head when I made that video, but I was referring to Charles Wright, who that was the name that many Texas fans out there, especially the people that are really, really hard body in recruiting, said, hey, we have a chance to flip the Iowa State guy, here. And did I think it was going to happen within a few days? No. But with the Texas Legacy connection, hey, we finally got one after the Brockemeyer situation. I'll get to that in a little bit. But, being able, like I said, just getting that on board, filling that piece. We've seen, even with Casey Thompson and Cameron Rising, hey, one guy left the program, the other guy stayed and has been developed long term. Now, how that looks for Casey Thompson after Sam Ehlinger leaves, because he was more being developed for what Tim Beck and Tom Herman were doing with in their version of the power spread, where it was a true dual threat need. Now with Mike Yurcich, accuracy, throwing consistently from the pocket is going to be part of that. Now, we saw him have success with Justin Fields last year, who I consider a guy that can do everything, right? But you want, and people have been saying this, and I totally agree with it. But Mike Yurcich's offense, yes, you need to be mobile, but I don't necessarily need the running quarterback, the guy that he's going to make all of his money moving around and running on the ground. Mobility will be valued. You will still have quarterback run game. We'll still be able to do a lot of those different things. But in terms of what we're evaluating and what we're looking to develop offensively in our attack, we're valuing throwing from the pocket accurately, being able to get through your progressions quickly, especially in an up-tempo scheme that we'll be moving to. So it'll be very interesting to see who that suits and who may have to develop even more to that. If Casey Thompson's still going to be that guy, or does a guy like Hudson Card, who we're already hearing good things about. That's where, folks even like a Jaquindon Jackson, because I don't want to get too married to the scheme to where we lose out on somebody that has potential to be special. Right now in the room, pre-Quinn Ewers, the most special person to me, and from a upside. For those of you who played Madden, that just dropped. You're talking about like the dev traits. Quentin Jackson's got the highest ceiling for me, regardless of what we're doing. The thing is, you want to have that marriage where he's comfortable in the scheme, but can still be developed and maximize that stardom. Now, if it's Hudson Card who develops into that star in this offense, or Casey Thompson, I'm really comfortable with just how Mike Yurcich is going about handling his business. Now, in regards to Charles Wright, the actual player, got caught up on his huddle tape the past couple of days. He's got to get, the size thing is going to be an issue right now. They have him listed at like 6'1", 190, 195. But he's a little bit smaller, and we had this issue with Shane Bouchot when he got here. Now, the beautiful thing is he's not going to be asked to play right away, right? And can, have that time to get the body together in the weight room. But the things that you like to see on tape is he does have that mobility, but he throws a very, very good ball from the pocket and has good, quick feet, moving back and forth, hitting his targets at a variety of platforms. I've been talking about that a lot recently because that's one of the things I loved with Quinn Ewers, whether it's going that sidearm release, which some people got a little carried away with the Phillip Rivers thing, in my opinion, because I do see him having, all different types of release points. Charles Wright, as a quarterback, and being gritty, because he's playing 6A ball, Austin High, and they're playing some dogs out there like Westlake, like Travis, all the folks in the Central Texas region. And, he competes and he's got that grit. And when you have coaches like a Matt Campbell, who you've seen what they've done with Brock Purdy, pursuing people like this and getting a commitment and coming to Austin to come after somebody and saying, this can be the quarterback of our future, that gives that credibility for the type of player that Charles Wright is. Another thing I love about him, you go to his Twitter profile, proudly puts up there he has a 4.05 GPA. Having those cerebral guys in the room that, again, Tech family is from Texas. He's here locally. I think this is a great, great move for the Texas Longhorns. Does it move the needle from a recruiting ranking standpoint? I see a lot of people getting triggered by all this type of nonsense. Look, you have to, at the end of the day, yeah, we pay attention to recruiting rankings, all that, but you still have to trust your evaluations. And if Jalen Milroe was going to be here as a higher rated recruit, but transfer out because he wasn't getting an opportunity, versus a guy like Charles Wright, who's only a 3-star, but you can develop and have that potential down the road, and he stays, what's more valuable to you, the ranking or the insurance and the security of having that person in the quarterback room not leaving? I'll take the latter, in my opinion. So, again, shout out to Brandon and guys, and I hope the young man Cannon Williams out of Harlan, right now he only has 9 offers from what I've seen, but, with a great senior year, he should be one of the D1 quarterbacks that starts to get a look, especially with all the dominoes shaking out. Now, the other thing, too, is going back to the recruiting rankings, because, you guys saw a lot of buzz about the Sooner Summit, Kamar Wheaton, Bryce Foster, guys of that sort that are there. The Gilliam kid out of Florida committed to Oklahoma, and, they're making a lot of noise. Right now they're ranked ahead of us in the Big 12 recruiting rankings for 2021. Look, don't fret. LJ Johnson's still out there. We have to go and win that battle against Texas A&M for his services, in my opinion. And whatever else happens down the road, Shamar Turner from DeSoto, I think he's probably going to go play SEC ball from what my prognostications will be. But overall for this class, finishing strong, LJ Johnson. I like the Charles Wright pickup. I like the pass rushers. We've got, whether it's Jatavian Sanders, Harris, all the guys that either going to play at these different hybrid linebacker positions. So I like what Texas is doing. Hopefully they can, show up the class and finish strong, maybe get into that top 10. But I like the strategic moves they're making, some really sneaky prospects that they're coming in from out of state. And then 2022 is where you load up with your number 1 overall player. That's where you go and get all the big dogs and really clean up. And I'm going to end the video here. The reason why I'm not tripping on this at all is because of the eligibility freeze. So now everybody is, now Andre Carrick might be a freshman going again into 2021, right? Tyler Johnson's probably going to be a sophomore, only a sophomore in 20. So the guys that we thought were going to be moving on, now the way we're stacking our classes and scholarship allotments, all these big things with the approval going through on Friday. It's going to be very, very interesting, even at the quarterback position, right? So these are some things we have to pay attention to as we stack together these classes. But the way UT has done this, in particular to the quarterback room, and having themselves real options post Sam Ehlinger. I think post Sam Ehlinger, you have a veteran guy that you've been working on developing, just like you hope to have with Charles Wright and Casey Thompson. You have your two high upside guys that have come in and been very, very good right off the bat, Hudson Card, Jaquin Jackson. And then you have the ace after Charles Wright in 2021 and 2022 with Quinn Ewers. You can't do any better than that, in my opinion. You really can't. And so I'm excited. Other Texas fans should be excited for how Mike Yurcich and Tom Herman have handled this situation. We're going to be in some dogfights over some of these kids, whether it's OU or A&M, like I'm talking about with LJ Johnson. But with the strategic moves that they're making in conjunction with the high-level recruiting battles, these are the things that Texas has struggled with in the past that I'm seeing them improve upon. And I could be more excited. Congratulations to Charles Wright. Thanks for staying home. Hey, and by the way, we hurt Iowa State. I didn't even mention that. Anytime you hit up another opponent, somebody who we have lost to and, has every right to say, hey, we're trying to contend for a Big 12 title. I have no shame in that. So anytime you can hurt an opponent, take one of their guys and get them to stay home here in Texas, it's a good day. Guys, I appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit us up, grow on the channel. I'm going to have another video later today about all the Earl Thomas craziness. Thanks, Brandon, from Along the Wire, for helping us out. Want to collab with you soon. We're going to have more collabs on the channel. So many wonderful people out there creating great content that we're going to work with. Season preview right around the corner for Fanatic Perspective. So exciting times. Appreciate you guys. Horns always.